Hello, brothers. Hello, sisters out there. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Come on in. Come on in. Got some good content. You know I do. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I'm ready to tackle this topic tonight. Some of you brothers and some of you sisters, it's going to help you. I guarantee you, as you, it's going to help you if you apply it to your life when it comes to a relationship. Come on in. Got a few more seconds, well, about a minute or so before we get into our topic. Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sisters. I've been waiting. I hope that you have been waiting. I put the title out there earlier, so come on in, come on in, come on in, brothers. My sisters, I love you, I love you, I love you. Come on in. I got some good content. You don't want to miss tonight's show. Come on in, come on in. We're about to get to it. Hold on for one moment. We're going to give a few more people a little time to come in. Come on in and get comfortable, brothers. Come on in and get comfortable, sisters. I got something that's going to help you out when it comes to relationship. When you run into those red flags, how you doing, mother? How you doing, Sister Renee? Come on in, come on in. We about to get to it. Wait for a few more people to come in, and we're going to jump on into it. How you doing, auntie? Come on in, come on in, come on in, my brothers and sisters out there in the land. How you doing? Brothers and sisters, I know that you had a fantastic day. No matter what happened, you are here tonight. God brought you here just like he brought me here. I hope that you all are doing well, my brothers and sisters out there. Me, myself, I feel like I'm a part of the Flintstone, yabba dabba do, and I'm ready to get to this topic. For those of you that do not know of me, and this might be your first time to this particular broadcast, my name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationship basically from a biblical point of view. God had a unique relationship with the man Adam, and after he had a unique relationship with Adam, he caused a deep sleep to come upon Adam. He reached into Adam's side, got a rib, and then he fashioned the woman around the rib, and he represented the woman back to the man. And at that particular time, Adam said in the presence of God, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call her woman because she came from man. That's the type of relationship that I believe in. The relationship strictly between a man or a woman. My brother and sister, I got plenty of seats as usual. You could come on up. Got some vacant seats out here in the front. Come on up and get you a seat. I want you to be comfortable so you can listen to this content. If there's anything that you want to impart or share with the audience, my brother and sister, if you want to come on live a little bit, you're welcome to come, but let me know that you want to come and that you got something important to say. Just put it down here, put your John Hancock down, and I will bring you in. But when you come on, make sure that you're coming on from a respectable position. I want you to respect the audience and definitely respect me, because if you don't, I'm going to just, ease you on out the door, okay? So I want you to know that. Now, tonight's topic, it's a very good topic. It's a dangerous topic, my brother and sister. Very dangerous. And the topic for tonight is the dangers of deep bonding with the wrong person. Again, tonight's topic is the deep dangers bonding with the wrong person. How you doing, Sister Flo Harvey Martin? You brother and sister, go ahead and get that fresh popcorn, courtesy of Flo Harvey Martin. It's fresh out the microwave. Go ahead and grab your bag. There you go, and get you a soda. And I want you to get ready to relax and enjoy this content for tonight. Thank you, Sister Flo. Again, tonight's topic is the dangers of deep bonding with the wrong person. Now, my brothers and my sisters, do you know what you're doing? You're going to hear me say this throughout this broadcast. Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing, my brothers? Do you know what you're doing, my sister, when you are about to enter into a relationship? It's one or two styles of people you're going to meet. You're either going to meet the right person for your life, or you're going to basically meet the wrong person for your life. Let me tell you about the red flags about the wrong person. And we're going to talk about, like I said, the topic is the danger of dealing with bonding with the wrong person. Now, what is bonding? According to the dictionary, bonding is defined as the establishment of a relationship or link with someone based on shared feelings, interests, or experience. Again, bonding, my brother, bonding, my sister, is defined as the establishment of a relationship or link with someone based on your shared feelings, your interests, and your experience. Now, my brothers and sisters, how do you start bonding, my brother and sister? You start bonding by, you started by having conversations, and you started by spending time. And some of you probably have experienced this. Probably some of you are experiencing it right now. And hopefully I could prevent some of you from not experiencing in the future. Now, when it comes to bonding, and we're talking about with the wrong person, it started by you start having certain types of conversations with this individual, and you make and spend time with this wrong man or woman. Question again, do you know what you are doing? Now, this is how bonding started, my brother and sister. Your soul eventually, how you doing, Sister Sherry? Your soul eventually, and more than likely, once your soul get bonded with that person, or we call it soul tie, once your soul get bonded with someone else, and that's the mind, your will, and your emotion, once it get entangled with someone else, eventually, and more than likely, you will gravitate to the physical part of the relationship. It's just like this, hypothetically speaking. We're going to show you how it normally takes place when you start bonding with the wrong person. Let's say, my brother, my sister, you got a yard, okay? For you, brother, it's a nice sunny day on the outside, so you out there cutting grass. Or sisters, you could be in your yard and you could be planting flowers. Okay, this is the setup. And this is just an example. And you see your neighbor. And these are some common scenarios how relationships start. But keep in mind, you're getting involved with the wrong type of person. Now the conversation started. This is what happened. The conversation started. And it's just like this. Brother, you out there cutting grass, or sister, you out there planting flowers. Your next door neighbor wave at you, and you wave at him or her, and you just say, hey, how you doing? Now, that's a shadow type of relationship, okay? It's not really deep, but this is what happened. And keep in mind, you're still on the outside. Then one day, that person might walk over to you and start a little small conversation. Now, that person is making some steps with you, and this mild, okay? This is mild. Then another day, you are outside, brother, you cutting the grass, and sister, you out there planting your flower, and then this one particular day, that person come over and invite you over to have some tea. And this is the mild part of the relationship. Again, this is the mild part of the relationship, which transgress. Now, I don't say no transgress. It grows into another part, and that other part is one of you suggests that you need to start hanging out together. You see how it's progressing? And this is where it starts getting spicy. And after it starts getting spicy, it's another part that happens. You start hanging out together. And when you start hanging out together, what start happening? You start sharing your dreams and hopes with this person. So this person is getting deeper into your life. Now you're getting tied up with that person mentally and emotionally because you're having a good time. You and that person start hanging out together. You see how it gradually start progressing? And then it comes down to you spend the night together. This is the nucleus part of the relationship. So you started off with a conversation, a mild conversation, then it changed to hot, then it gets spicy, then it gets to the nuclear part of the relationship. Whereas it moved from the conversation, where you started opening yourself up to that man or woman, and that man and woman start tying to your soul. That's your mind, your will, and your emotion. So the next thing will start happening when you're with the wrong person, your bodies get tied up. And when your bodies get tied up, the question again is, what are you doing? Remember I said this is what I'm going to be asking you, what are you doing? Before you realize this, my brother and sister, that bond have gotten so deep and strong, and it would be very difficult to break that situation, that bonding, because soul tie is, you can't easily break from a soul tie. There are a lot of you brothers and there are a lot of you sisters that are in relationship right now, and it's very, very difficult for you to break that tie with that man or that woman. Very, very difficult. Okay. Okay. Very, very difficult. You know why? Because you open your life up to that person. You expose yourself to that person. And you see, if you would have kept it mild, because some of you brothers and sisters, you see the red flags at the beginning of the relationship, but based on how that person look, how that person, what that person have, and you just open yourself, and some of you see that that person is not right for you, but you keep getting deeper and deeper, then you start sharing your body with the person. So what else can you give that person? Once you give a person your body, you have basically given that person all of you. You have given that person your soul, and you have given that person your body. So what else can you give to that person besides things? Now you giving that person yourself. What else can you give, my brother? What else can you give, my sister? So when it comes to breaking that bond, my brother and sister, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to break bonds. So when it comes to breaking a bond, you cannot easily break a bond. It has to be torn apart. A strong bond, a soul tie, it has to be torn apart. It's just like this. If I have some glue, stay with me, my brother, stay with me, my sister. You see these two envelopes that I have? If I put some glue between these envelopes, right? I put some glue between the envelopes, and then I push these envelopes together. I mash them together. Now, at the early part of me mashing them together, I could kind of like pull it apart easily because I just put the glue on it, right? I just put it on, and I could put it on like this, and then I could pull it apart. Maybe no problems with it. But if I put it together and I let it stay for a while, guess what's going to happen? It's going to get bonded together. And when I try to separate these two envelopes, it's going to be very difficult to do it because it got bonded together with the glue. You understand? That's how you brothers and you sisters, you get bonded with another person. You start conversating, you start opening up, and then you probably have some physical exchange with that person, which is energy. Like I have told you, brother, over and over again, and sister, when you have sex with somebody, it's more than the body fluids. You're exchanging energy, which is your soul. So back to these envelopes. Once that glue hardens, and I want to take these envelopes together, I'll be able to take it together. But when I pull it apart, it's going to be part of this envelope going to be here, and part of this envelope going to be here, because that's how it happened when a soul tie comes. When a soul tie comes, you're going to take a part of that person with you. And you're going to take a part of that person maybe into another relationship, which is dangerous. Let me give you an example of a soul tie. I'm going to give you a page out of my life when it came to a soul tie. This had to be, let me see. This had to be between 10 and 15 years ago. And I want to tell you all right now, I'm not talking about Cinderella. So some of you are going to say, I didn't know you and Cinderella had some problems. It didn't have nothing to do with Cinderella. I did not know Cinderella at this time, okay? So I'm not talking about my wife now. As you know, my brother and sister, I have been married before, okay? I have been married before. Now, let me tell you what happened. This particular marriage that I was in, this young lady and I, the divorce papers and everything was filed. and we were going through a divorce. So I decided to start dating this other lady. And when I decided to date this other lady, she told me this. She said, if you and your wife decide to pull your divorce, try to work it out, just let me know. So I said, cool. So keep in mind now, I wasn't seeing that lady while my wife and we were together. We were going through the divorce proceeding because we had filed papers and everything, right? So I was called myself transitioning with my life. So I was dating this young lady. So I exposed this lady to some things that she said she never experienced before with a man. She said, I'm the best man that she ever met in her life. So not only that, let me tell you what happened. And this, I know some of you have heard of the, Fatal Attraction. Some of you all have seen that Fatal Attraction movie. That stuff is real, my brothers. That stuff is real, my sister, because I experienced a fatal attraction. Let me tell you what happened. So this young lady and I, at the beginning, it was good. Like in most relationships, it might appear to be very good, right? But this young lady, she had some toxic experience from her past that she was bringing over. So she was accustomed to want to do physical things. Like she actually wanted to try the physical fight. If we had a disagreement, she actually wanted to try to lay hands on a brother, right? So that gave me an indication that something was wrong with that lady. So I started pulling away from her. Like if we had a disagreement, she might want to fight. But what I'll do, I'll be trying to leave the house, but then she'll run and block the door and she'll say something stupid like, make love to me before you go. And I said, you crazy. How can a man make love to you and you acting crazy? And she said, Tony, the best type of sex is when you having problems and you trying to resolve problems, and when you have sex, that's the best sex you can have. I said that's some crazy sex. I don't want nothing like that. So eventually I was pulling myself away from it. And then in the meantime, my wife and I that had filed paper, we decided to try to reconcile, right? But keep in mind, this young lady told me, she said, Tony, if you and your wife get back together, let me know. So at that particular time, the woman and I that I was, we pulled the divorce papers back, some on my finger, but we pulled the divorce papers back. And when we done that, we had an open dialogue. My wife, at that particular time, we had an open dialogue. So she said, we were talking about getting back together. So, and we were sitting, I said, look, I got something to tell you. And she said, what is it? I say, while you and I were going through a divorce, and I thought that we were going to actually get a divorce, I said, I started seeing someone else. And then what my wife at that particular time said, okay, if you want to get back together, you need to cut ties with that lady. And I said, okay, cool. And I said, if you were seeing someone else, whatever, that's on you. You ain't got to say nothing, whatever. But I'm talking about me, my brother, sister. Cause I know you all want to know what she said about what she was doing, but I ain't gonna tell you that. I'm talking about me. So anyway, I went to this lady's house and I said, I need to talk to you. And she said, what you want to talk about? So we was in the back of her yard and she was sitting on like the third step. And she had a little stick in her hand and she was doodling on the ground while talking to her. She was sitting on that third step. She had the stick and she was doing the ground. And she was looking down the ground. And I said, look, you remember when you told me, some of you all probably heard the story before. I said, remember when you told me if I decide to get back with my wife to let you know and you'll be cool with it? And she said, okay. And then I said, well, I'm telling you, my wife and I, we are stopping the divorce proceeding and we getting back together. Velma said, fatal attraction was lying. She was already possessing in the relationship. Amen, Sister Velma. So when I told her this, my brother and sister, this is what she told me. After I finished telling her what I was planning on doing, she looked up at me and she looked me in the eyes. She said, look, this relationship is not over until I say it's over. And I thought she was playing, right? She was not playing. She was not playing. So from that particular point, my brothers and sisters, it took me like a whole year to get rid of that woman. It's a whole bunch of things that went down in that relationship. But what the point I'm making is I put myself in a position. There was a bonding that took place, but it was a bonding with the wrong person. So what I'm telling you, my brother and sister, the point is you have to be careful who you deal with, because a person can get really involved with you from a conversation standpoint, and if it gets physical, it can really go down on you. Some of you brothers and sisters, you have been through a little fatal attraction experience. If not, you're going through it right now, or it's a possibility that you might go through it down the road. But I'm telling you, my brother and sister, I don't want you to put your hand on the stove. I have put my hand on the stove for you. Be careful. I failed in that. I seen the red flag, but I ignored it. And that was some many, many years ago. Keep in mind. But I'm telling you now, I don't want you to experience that, my brother, or you to experience that, my sister. Now, let me tell you this. When it comes to an unhealthy soul tie, or to say it differently, since we're talking about deep bonding, Chris Vallotton made this statement and gave 7 signs of an unhealthy soul tie. And this is the 7 signs of an unhealthy soul tie. Let me see what's going on. These are 7 signs of an unhealthy soul tie. You feel so attached to them that you refuse to cut them off completely. You see, my brother and sister, if you are in a very rough soul tie situation, it's going to be difficult sometimes for you to cut connection and set boundaries. So that's why I tell some of you brothers and sisters, when it comes to soul tie, you got to immediately cut conversation off. You got to do it. I'm telling you, because I have walked down that road before. You got to cut it off. You can't let it linger on. Number 2, you left the relationship, but you think about him or her obsessively, and you can't get him or her off your mind. Now, some of you brothers and sisters, when you be in an unhealthy relationship and you have a deep bond, you could even be away from that person. But you're going to find yourself going through this thing where that person is consistently on your mind. You want that person to leave your mind, but that person not there presently. You ain't talking to that person on the phone. You're not texting that person. You're not spending time with that person. But if you're in a toxic relationship, it's a possibility that that person going to be on your mind consistently until you break it. Number 3, whenever you do anything, my brothers, whenever you do anything, my sister, making a decision, having a conversation with someone, you feel like that person is with you or watching you. That's just how deep it can get. You think that that person is with you and that person not acting with you. Physically, he or she is not, but he or she is soul tied, because you have gotten into some deep conversation with that person. You made time for that person, and you probably, and more than likely, you had sex with that person. It ain't nothing to play with. Everything starts in the mind first, okay, my brothers and sisters? Everything starts in the mind first. And after this starts in the mind, it's that conversation. And then you open it up, because you sharing your being with that person. You sharing your hopes. You sharing your dreams. You sharing your hurt with that person. So you opening up. Understand? And then when you add the sexual part to it, it's deeper. You see, that's what I'm telling you, my brother and sister. When you open up to a man, when you open up to a woman, it's not no plaything. It's not no plaything, because we are men and women. We are social beings. And the deeper you get into it, sometimes it's hard to let go. Number 4, and this is something, my brother and sister, you got to understand that this is sometimes what can happen. This comes from being in an unhealthy relationship where you deeply bonded with someone and you call yourself broken away from them. Check this out. And some of you have experienced this before. Check it, and this is serious. I hope you are prepared for it. This is for some grown folks, okay? When you have sex with someone else, hopefully your husband or wife, this is after you have been through a bad relationship. Keep this in mind. That person, let me tell you this, my brother and sister, you could be in an unhealthy relationship with someone, but that past relationship, you and that person could have had some good, well, what appears to be good sex, okay? It appears to be good sex. The only thing what was happening, that's all it was. It was just good sex, but you got it misconstrued or you took it to heart. Now you tied to that person. And a lot of time, more women get tied to that person, that man, than a man to a woman. But let me tell you, when you have sex with somebody, hopefully your husband and wife, and this is the danger part, you can hardly keep yourself from visualizing the person you had a soul tie with. Now, this is something, my brother and sister, a lot of people don't want to talk about this. A lot of people don't want to talk about this. If you had an unhealthy soul tie with somebody in the past, you could have met the right man or woman for you, but your soul is still tied to someone from the past. And the only thing that you and that person probably had appeared to be just some good sex. It appeared to be good sex, okay? That's what I'm saying. But it basically what you was doing more than exchanging your energy. You were doing, you was exchanging fluid, but you were doing more than that. You was exchanging your energy. You were getting bonded, okay? You was getting bonded. So now you in the bed with your husband. Or you in the bed with your wife, and you closing your eyes like this. You closing your eyes, and you in the middle of expressing love to your mate. And while you closing your eyes, brother, you thinking about this other woman. You should be thinking about your wife. Sister, you thinking about this other man when you should be thinking about your husband that you're with now. That's the danger of soul tie with the wrong person. Some of you brothers and sisters, you mentally, you don't understand it. You can be, your mate might not appear to be up to par on the physical part, right? But that other person rock your boat, right? So that other person rocking your boat, and you want your mate to rock your boat, but your mate is not rocking the boat like that other person. So you close your eyes, and I'm telling you, my brother and sister, this is some deep stuff. This is some very, very deep stuff, my brother, and this is some very deep stuff, my sister. That's why God does not want us to have sex before we are married. I'm guilty of it. Most of all of you that looking at me are guilty of having sex before you're married. Some of you are not married and you're having sex. So I'm telling you, I was guilty of having sex before I got married. Plenty of it. I'm guilty. So a lot of stuff that came down on me is because I did it contrary to God's way. That's why some stuff came down on me. And I was responsible for it. I sowed, but I reaped. And I'm telling you, my brother and sister, you could still have that thing for that person. And some of you brothers and sisters, you do this too. That person was no good for you. And you're in a relationship with someone else right now. You could be married, your husband and wife. That other man, sister, will call you or text you. And you go and hook up with that man because of sex. You go hook up. That's all you want from is some sex. Because your husband is not rocking your boat. And some of you brothers too, you are, that woman text you or call you. And you're so familiar with her, you already know what you're going to do. And you all make arrangement and you go just to have sex with her. Brother and sister, when I'm telling you, this is some stuff that be going down. I know some of you married brothers and sisters don't want to know what I'm talking about, but that kind of stuff happens. Number 5, you take on negative traits of that person that your soul is tied to and carry their offenses whether or not you actually agree with them. You see, when you get with someone, my brother and sister, you know that saying that birds of a feather flock together. You're going to start taking on that person's characteristics, whether you believe it or not. Other people will be able to see it, but you might not be able to see it. You understand? So if that person got some negative characteristic in his or her personality, you stay with that person long enough, you conversate with that person long enough, you sleep with that person long enough, you and that person are one flesh. I'm gonna get to that shortly, okay? You are becoming one. Number 6, you defend your right to stay in a relationship with the person that your soul is tied to, even though it negatively affect or even destroy the important relationship in your life. Some of you brothers and some of you sisters, you could get with a good man and a good woman. You are so tied to that other person, you cannot grow with that good man, sister, or you cannot grow with that good woman, my brother, because you still tied to that other person, and you jeopardize the good relationship and you go backwards. That's how some people do. You go backward because you think that person going to change. Majority of that time, that person not going to change. And you going to lose a good woman, brother. And sister, you're going to lose a good man because all you doing is going back to something. You left for a reason, so you have to keep going on. And number 7, you're in a new relationship and you start comparing your new man or your new woman to your former lover. Some of you brothers and some of you sisters, you're in a relationship. And now you want to compare that person to that toxic person in the past, because you still tied to him or her. You might even, some of your sisters might even talk to your new man about that toxic man. Some of you brothers might talk to your new woman about that toxic person. But what you will not tell him or her is that you still have feelings for that person. And a lot of you still do that. You still have feelings for that person. Even though you say bad things to your new boo or boyfriend or whatever you want to call your relationship, you still tied to that toxic person. The question is, my brothers, the question is, sister, what are you going to do? Now, the importance of being in a deep bond with the wrong person or a soul tie. Let's go to God's word and see how very, very important it is to not get in the wrong relationship with a person. We're going to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, 15 through 20. Again, this 1 Corinthians 6, 15, 20. Again, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, 15, 20. Listen to me carefully, brothers. Listen to me carefully, sister. And it reads like this. And this is just how serious it is when you get bonded with a man or woman. Right or wrong, but we'll talk about the wrong type of person. This is what Paul said when he wrote to the Corinthians, because it was a problem. He wanted them to know something about the soul tie or the deep bonding. This is what Apostle Paul said. Do you not know that your bodies are a member of Christ himself? What does that mean? Brother and sister, if the Lord have saved you, you got to recognize your position now. And the Christ live in your body, because Jesus, the Lord, is living in your body, and your body right now is a temple. How you doing, Sister Brian? Your body, my brother, and your body, my sister, it's a temple. So when you accept Christ in your life, the Lord himself is living in your body. You got to realize this, my brother. You got to realize this, my sister, that the Lord is living in your body, okay? We're talking about the body. We're talking about deep bonding. We're talking about soul tie. Do you not know that your body is a member of Christ himself? Then Paul asked this question. Shall I then take the member of Christ and unite it with a prostitute? This is serious, my brother. This is serious, my sister. Paul asked the question. So the Lord is in your body, my brother. The Lord is in your body, my sister. And Paul is saying, shall I take the member of Christ and unite it with a prostitute? Or it's the wrong person? Paul said, never. Now check this out, my brother, and check this out, my sister. Do you not know that he who unites himself with a prostitute or the wrong type of person is one with her in body? You see what I'm saying? How you doing, Sister Mary? Whenever, brother and sister, if you're in Christ, you got to remember this. When you go talk to someone, Jesus is there. When you have sex with somebody, brother, when you enter into a woman's vagina, you're taking Christ with you. Sister, when you open up your vagina for a man, Christ is in your body and Christ is right there in the bed. A lot of you brothers and sisters don't want to recognize it, but the Lord don't leave your body when you have sex with somebody. He's still there. And what you're doing, you're grieving the Spirit of the Lord. And Paul said, for it is said, the two will become one flesh. If you remember this, my brother, and if you remember this, my sister, when Adam seen Eve, what did Adam say? He said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Did not Adam say that? That's right. Adam recognized that he was tied to Eve. And like you, brother, and you, sister, when you deal with the right person or the wrong person, and we talk about the wrong person, you have conversated, and now it's getting to the deep part. You're having sex with that person. Now, it's brother, you having sex with that person, and you got Christ in it. Just imagine that. You got Christ in it. And sister, you having sex with this man, and you got Christ in it. But whosoever is united with the Lord, with him is a spirit. Okay, you got a relationship with the Lord, so the Lord is living in your body. How you doing, Sister Paula? Then it said, flee from sexual immorality. For all sins a person commit are outside the body. But whosoever sins sexually, sin against his own body. Like I have told you, my brother and sister, I know it was hard for you all to believe, and I hate to disappoint you, because I know a lot of you thought I was perfect. I know a lot of you, I'm disappointing a lot of you tonight, right? Because a lot of you saying, oh, I'm going to listen to Brother Tony. That brother is perfect. He ain't never did nothing wrong in his life. That's why I like listening to him, because he ain't never seen in his life. Look at him. He's so perfect. But I hate to tell you that, my brother and sister, your brother Tony, he ain't perfect. Your brother Tony used to sin. Like some of you all used to sin, and some of you sinning now. But I sinned, and I had some sexual sins. Like some of you all had sexual sin. But it said flee from sexual morality. All sin that a person commit are outside the body. But whosoever sins sexually, sin against his own body. So what does that mean? Whatever you do is not directly on your body, okay? But when you sin against your body, because the Lord lives inside of your body, brothers. The Lord lives inside of your body, sister. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Ghost? Paul is saying this. He wants you to recognize this, my brothers. He wants you to recognize this, my sister. Do you not know that your bodies are temple of the Holy Ghost, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. When the Lord buy you with his blood, you are not your own. You were bought with a price, and that's the blood of his son, Jesus Christ. Therefore, honor God with your body. Do you know what you are doing, my brother, sister? That's what I want to know. Do you know what you're doing? It's dangerous, brothers. It's dangerous, sisters, when you start conversating with the wrong man or woman. That's why, my brothers and my sister, you need the Lord in you to guide you, to help you to block off these bad type of relationships. Because that's how they start, my brother and sister. You be thinking, and then you start conversating. It start it's like a little bit at a time. It start little bit by little bit. Sister Paul said, all sins have fallen short. Yeah, that's right. We have all sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But let me tell you this, my brother, and let me tell you this, my sister. It starts with the conversation. When you see that the conversation is going left field, you need at that time, even if you're having the tingles on the inside, you need to move in another direction. Especially if you have the Lord in your life. As a matter of fact, if you're with the wrong type of person, the Lord is his spirit is going to let you know. His spirit is going to be saying something ain't right with this person. Something ain't right with this person, but you're going to get deeper and deeper. You start talking. You start sharing your experience, your hopes, your dreams, your fears and stuff. You start doing all that. And like Velma said, extra bill, you got the extra bill, and real soon, if you don't, you're going to keep doing it and doing it. And what's going to multiply, you're going to have sex with that person more than likely on a scale between 0 and 10, 10 being the highest. More than likely, on a scale between 0 and 10, 7 people going to have sex with the person that they talk to. Sometimes it could happen on day 1 when you meet the person, or it could be day 2 or whenever. But to tell you the truth, these days, my brother and sister, a lot of time when you meet the person, the sex go down on day 1. And I know that surprised some of you brothers. I know that surprised some of you sisters, but a lot of time the sexual part go down early, and then a lot of people, they want to get to know the person after the sex. They have all the small talk early, right? You go out on a date, the man go to her house, the woman go to his house, or they hook up and go to a hotel. Sister Taylor, let me tell you this. It's a lot, sister, you just don't, I don't know, sister, but it's a lot of women and a lot of men, they have sex on the first date. No, they don't know each other. I know some women, they want to hold themselves back, and some men want to hold themselves back. But majority of men would take the sex on the first date. I'm just letting you sister know. Most men would take sex on the first date. I know that might surprise some of you, but most men would take sex on the first date. And the reason why a lot of women don't have sex on the first date, a lot of times they want to have sex, but they thinking about, they don't want that man to think they're a bad girl or something, okay? That's what a lot of women do. They want to do it. I ain't saying all. I'm not saying all now. But a lot of women, they want to go ahead and do the grown folk stuff. They want to do it, but they want to hold back. So a lot of time when that man see her on the second date, she might have sex with him. But you see, the thing about that, you're getting soul tied. I have told you brothers, and especially you sisters, these brothers, they know it. Men are good at working on women emotions. Men are good at working on women emotions, because we know you're emotional. Most of the time, men have a plan at the beginning of the relationship. I have told you, sisters, that over and over and over again. Most of the time, a man have a strategy. Most of the time, when the average man meets you, sister, he want to have sex with you. I know some of you don't want to believe it. I know some of you don't want to believe, but most of the time, a man wants to have sex with you. And I have told you why. A few shows back, I said that men need sex, women need affection. But you see, that's supposed to be confined to a marriage, not no boyfriend or no girlfriend. When a man and woman get married, the man needs sex from that woman. The woman needs affection from that man. That's the base. They ain't all in a marriage, but that's the basic part. So that's what some of you sisters need to know when you get married, and some of you brothers need to know. That it's a trade-off. That's how it go. But when you're not married and you having these type of conversations, things happen. Let me tell you another thing what happened. You call yourself, some of you married people, you think that you could continue, keep this in mind, you think that you could consistently go to lunch with women, you think that you can consistently go to dinner with women, and you married, right? You think you can consistently doing it. What do I mean by consistently doing it? You do it on a regular basis, right? You do it on a regular basis. You do it on a regular basis, and that woman start opening up to you. She's going to start sharing a lot of things about her life. And then you might start sharing things about your life. So you getting connected because of your communication. You're sharing things together. You start, then you go home, brothers, and then you still get in contact with that woman while your wife in another room looking at TV or something. And then some of you sisters that married, you go to lunch and dinner, and you meet this man at a track field or something, and you walking with him, and y'all sharing a whole bunch of stuff together. And while your man in another room looking at the football game, you texting this other man, or you calling him on the phone. You go in the bathroom, or you walk outside and talk to him, because you got a connection. You had that conversation, and your souls are tied together. And like majority of the time, like I said, after that soul get connected and tied, it gonna go toward the physical part. when it gets to that physical part, like I told you from 1 Corinthians 6, 15, 20, it say that the two will become one flesh. After you consummate the relationship, my brother and sister, that person becomes a part of you. Yes, my brother, you are married to your wife, but when you sleep with another woman, she becomes a part of you. She becomes a part of you. Sister, you married to this man. If you sleep with another man, this other man become a part of you. It's more, like I said, it's more than the exchange of body fluid. It's the exchange of energy. You, my brother, and you, my sister, are a spiritual being. If you have the Lord in you, you have the Spirit of the Lord. You have your own soul. Every man and woman has his or her own soul. Then you have your body. That's your makeup. Spirit, soul, and body. So when you get involved with someone, my brother and sister, that's why you need to be with the right person. So when you're with the right person, you have the Spirit of the Lord there. You have your soul. You have your soul invested in a relationship, then your body. That's the best type of relationship to be in. A godly relationship where the man is following God, the woman is following God, and that man and woman, they move from the engagement period to getting married. They go ahead and get married. So you could do it right in front of the Lord. Because like I'm telling you, my brother and sister, remember this before we go. If the Lord is in your life, you single brother and sister, if the Lord is in your life, and you go have sex with someone, and the Spirit of the Lord is not in them, if the Spirit of the Lord is not in a man's system, you go have sex with him, but the Spirit of the Lord in you, what spirit is in that man? Let's do some math. Let's do some math. I got a calculator. Okay, sister, 1, you got the Spirit of the Lord in you. You deal with a man, he don't have the Spirit of the Lord. So if he doesn't have the Spirit of the Lord, what spirit he have in him? He got Satan's spirit in him, right? He got an evil spirit. That's right, Sister Tay. So this is what you're doing. This is just how deep this is, my brother and sister. Sister, you got the Spirit of the Lord, and this man got a devil in him. So you have sex with that man physically, right? So you exchange energy. Now you got the Spirit of the Lord in your body, sister, and then you have a devil. You see how nasty that is? I know you all don't want to think this way. You see how nasty that is? You got spirit, sister, of Lord, and he got spirit of devil, and you mingling together, and you grieving the Spirit of the Lord. Or brother, like this, you got the Spirit of God in you. You can go have sex with this woman that got a devil in her. If she don't have the Spirit of the Lord, get what she got. She got the Spirit of the devil in her, right? You can't see it. The Spirit in there, like you can't see no man or woman's soul, but it's there. The soul and spirit is more realer than the body, because the body is the temple. So, brother, you go and insert your penis into a woman's vagina, and she got a devil in her, and you got the Spirit of the Lord. Can you imagine? Because you taking the Lord with you. That's what I'm trying to get you, brother and sister, to see. That's what I'm trying to help you. Trying to help you. And I know I have sinned in my past, my brothers and sisters. I have sinned. And some of you got to realize that you all have sinned. If you're going to get in a relationship, be in the right type of relationship. Be in a relationship where the Bible said, therefore honor God with your body. And with that said, again, do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing, brothers? Do you know what you're doing, sister? That's the question. Do you know? And you know at that time, my brothers, you know at that time, my sisters, I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I hope that this lesson, the danger of deep bonding with the wrong person, will be in your mind. Remember this too. If I put some glue right here and I mash it together and I let it dry, what's going to happen? When I put it apart, it's going to tap. That means that when you get with the wrong person, brother, you're going to take part of that woman with you. And sister, you're going to take part of that man with you. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Peace out.